Mr. Crocket, a Hulu horror movie directed by Brandon Espy, arrives with a gripping concept sure to capture the attention of nostalgic horror fans. The film combines the innocent charm of children's TV hosts like Mr. Rogers with the nightmarish terror of Freddy Krueger. This unique premise is rooted in Mr. Crocket, a vengeful supernatural entity who punishes abusive parents in grotesque, cartoonish ways. While the film's introduction promises a fresh take on horror, it ultimately struggles to maintain momentum, succumbing to predictable storytelling and underdeveloped characters. The movie opens in 1993 in the fictional town of Shuri Bottom, Pennsylvania, where young Darren watches Mr. Crocket's World, a sing-along videotape that captivates him. His despicable father interrupts, unaware that Mr. Crocket, Elvis Nolasco, is about to crawl out of the television to exact brutal, gory justice. This introduction is a wild blend of grotesque visuals and dark humor, setting up what could have been a wildly inventive horror movie. Unfortunately, after this strong start, Mr. Crocket begins to lose its way. One of the film's biggest strengths is its villain, Mr. Crocket himself. Played with a creepy charm by Nolasco, Mr. Crocket is a menacing yet oddly charismatic figure who feels ripped straight from the VHS era of children's programming. He's not just a mindless killer, he seeks out abusive parents, turning their homes into playgrounds of chaos before dealing them gruesome deaths. His whimsical yet deadly nature recalls the sinister energy of Freddy Krueger, but with a lighter, more absurd touch. The film's practical effects and kill sequences are gleefully over the top, adding a satisfying layer of visual horror. Where the film falters, however, is in its pacing and character development. After Darren's disappearance, the story jumps forward to 1994, shifting its focus to a new family. Major, Aidan Gavin, and his overworked mother Summer, Jerrica Hinton, become the next targets of Mr. Crocket's macabre justice. The cursed tape reappears, and soon Major vanishes, setting Summer on a desperate quest to find him. Unfortunately, what follows is a tired sequence of events that feels all too familiar for fans of the horror genre. The investigation plotline lacks the tension or depth needed to keep the audience invested, and the characters, including Summer, remain underdeveloped and one-dimensional. Summer's journey through the small town offers little in terms of originality, and the supporting characters are largely forgettable. The movie spends too much time on predictable plot points, leaving the more interesting aspects of Mr. Crocket's world unexplored. Espy and co-writer Carl Reed seem to reserve their creativity for Mr. Crocket's scenes, where the film truly shines. The villain's quirky dialogue and exaggerated mannerisms stand out as the highlight of the movie, but the rest of the cast feels like little more than plot devices. One of the film's most frustrating elements is its adherence to formulaic horror conventions. While Mr. Crockett's character is intriguing, the movie fails to dig deeper into his backstory or motivations. A late attempt at revealing his origins through an animated sequence falls flat, adding little to the mystery or menace of the character. Instead of offering a truly unique perspective on the supernatural horror genre, Mr. Crocket reverts to familiar tropes, robbing the film of the tension and surprise that could have elevated it. Despite these shortcomings, Mr. Crocket does deliver on the practical effects front. The final act, set in Mr. Crocket's lair, showcases some of the film's best work. The grotesque, otherworldly set design and special effects are undeniably impressive, offering horror fans a visually stunning climax. However, by the time the movie reaches this point, much of the potential suspense has already been lost to the film's predictable pacing and lackluster storytelling. In conclusion, Mr. Crocket is a film that promises more than it delivers. While its concept and central villain are intriguing, the movie ultimately stumbles due to its reliance on generic horror tropes and shallow characters. Fans of practical effects and campy horror may still find some enjoyment in Mr. Crocket's twisted world, but those looking for a fresh take on the genre will likely walk away disappointed. Mr. Crocket is available to stream on Hulu.